This is a real life operating room where I have seen patients, especially the Gen Z population, radically transform in the last 10 years. And it shows under anesthesia, and it has to do with how lonely Gen Z is because some of these effects show under anesthesia. Depression has almost become normalized. And in the Gen Z population, they are subject to so many more pressures that make them lonely, up to 50%.
Hey guys, welcome back. So let's talk about loneliness. Loneliness has become the new norm with depression stacks. Today's video is really deep and it's kind of like personal to me. I've noticed something recently and I believe you've seen it too. I don't know if it's just me. This generation feels so lonely. Everyone is posting, everyone is scrolling on social media. We are all connected, but somehow no one's really there. The number of people who are depressed keeps going higher and higher. Depression is real, and I said that because I've been there. It got to a point where I couldn't eat, sleep, and it did affect my mental health. A lot of us are suffering in silence. Even when you are out and around people in public, people are barely making eye contact anymore. No connection. It still feels lonely, like no small talk, no checking in, and this is killing us slowly. And the worst part is most people feel like they can't talk about it. So what do? We pretend, we pose, we laugh through it. But deep down, we just want to be seen. The truth, no one really says out loud. A lot of people are depressed not because they've done something wrong, but because we are so disconnected, isolated, quietly dying in silence, quietly aching for reconnection in today's world. Depression rate has doubled over the last 10 years.
According to Psychology Today, 73% of Gen Z reports that they don't have any friends and feel completely lonely. And I know that's true because I see you guys in my comments saying the same thing. So let's talk about it. There are a couple of factors that are contributing to this generation being lonelier than ever, and quite frankly, it breaks my heart. A couple months ago, came across a YouTube video of a kid who was 25, and he was talking about how he had no friends. That video hit some 1 million views, something like that. And the comments, there were thousands of people in the comments that were like, oh, I'm 25 or younger, and I also have no friends. Oddly enough, I was so heartbroken by seeing that I was like, wait a minute, what if I made a Facebook group and dropped the link in this YouTube video? What would happen? Would all the lonely people like get together in a group and not be lonely? That Facebook group now has 500 people in it. And so it's almost like a social experiment that made me realize people really are lonely. And I figured out what's happening. Number one is, past the age of, let's say, 18 or even 21, if you've graduated college, all of your built-in social mechanisms are gone. So in high school, you're forced to be with your friends every day. In college, you live with those friends, right? There's built-in social systems. You have to hang out. They're your neighbors, right? You're going to study together. You all have the same class. So you get together for study dates. You probably work in the same neighborhoods, blah, blah, blah. Even in our early careers, right? A lot of times we make friends with people that we work with because everyone is single. We all work at the same place. We're here every day. Let's be friends. Then a really curious thing starts happening around 22, 23, 24, 25, which is that people start getting in serious relationships that are long-term. People start getting married and people start having kids, which means that even the people that you work with that were your social circle, now they have to go home and like walk their dog and feed their kid, and they have to go home and be with their husband. So they're not going to be out at happy hour every night with you. And eventually these social interactions get lesser and lesser and lesser because even though you're in the same social place with these people, i.e. work, everyone has separate lives that are starting to stack up on one another.
Is it just me, or is life just not the same as it used to be? Nothing is the same anymore. Literally everything about reality today feels so different than what it was like 5 years ago. And I know we all can blame it on COVID, but it feels like we literally shifted into a different dimension. I feel like connecting with people is so weird now. Relationships are literally so stupid. They're just so stupid now. Isolation has become so prominent. Loneliness is louder than ever. Struggles have become more, in every facet, financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. And it's so scary because I always wonder what the world is going to be like in 10 years from now. Like, if this is the way society's operating now, what's going to happen later? AI is like literally taking over. People only connect through social media. Nobody really has genuine conversations anymore. Everything is so plastic. Everything feels so fake. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm sitting here just doing some work on my laptop, and I just have so many moments where I just say to myself, things just don't feel the same anymore. And I'm so curious if any of you feel the same way.
Loneliness is more than just depression. It's physical, it affects your sleep, your mental health, the way you think, and causes real emotional pain. Our world is changing fast, but we still need reconnection. This generation is full of aesthetics, filters, routines, fake lifestyle, and some people kind of like feel like left behind.
I posted a video over on my podcast page, right, about how many times in a month do you think that you should see your friends? And the answers have completely shocked me. It has shocked me because I've realized this is why, guys, there is a lonely epidemic. This is why our generation is so unhappy. Guys, we have spent our whole lives, primary school, secondary school, college, university, spending time with our friends, seeing our friends anytime that we want because we're going into the same space every day. And then we become adults and suddenly we're meant to just be okay with seeing our friends once every 2 months, once every 3 months. Why? Because everyone's busy. Everyone has a life. Everyone's life is different. We've got different schedules. Guys, we're killing ourselves. I don't mean to sound dramatic, but I fear we are killing ourselves. Like, it is not good for you to be alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, I know that we have become accustomed to it. We've learned to like cope with the fact that our friends have kids now. So if they can't go out with us, we can just go by ourselves. Solo date? No. I'm not saying that, yeah, you should see your friends every single day, or you should see your friends like every month is going to be the same and you should constantly be seeing your friends. I'm not saying that, but guys, it needs to be some sort of priority, not just for the other person, but for you, for your own mental health, for you to have sanity. Do you know how alive you feel after you spend time with people who love you? Why are we robbing ourselves of this? We can find time, even if it's a coffee with your friend. A coffee with your friend can heal your soul. Guys, it's not good. I'm scared.
I'm so tired of hearing about the male loneliness epidemic, so let's talk about the female loneliness epidemic, because we're experiencing one too. The one where men treat you like you're some fantasy object, and the moment they realize you're an actual human being with thoughts, feelings, and emotions, they're gone. Or when they want you for your body, but never have any intention of actually getting to know it or respecting it. Or when they want you for your emotional intelligence, even though they have no intention of ever reciprocating it. Or when they want you for what you can do for them, but they don't want you for who you are. That's loneliness. Crying yourself to sleep every night next to a partner who claims to love you even though his actions never follow his words, that's loneliness. Being too afraid to open yourself up to love and opening yourself up to men because we live in a world where SA, domestic violence, and femicide is so normalized, that's loneliness. The difference is that the male loneliness epidemic is self-inflicted and the female loneliness epidemic is self-preservation.
As a collective, Gen Z are lonely people. As a collective, when it comes to social media and how, like life looks and building friendships and building like meaningful relationships, it's really lonely culture. It's really, hustle, healing, cut off, do things on your own, do this on your own, I don't need nobody but myself community. I don't need friends to do what I gotta do. But at the end of the day, right, we are human beings. We need that connection because humans are meant to communicate. Humans are meant to, have a community, have people to, look towards. And I feel like as Gen Z, especially when it comes to social media and as we go older, I'm not going to say this is every single person, but I'm saying as a collective consciousness, as a collective community, right? I feel like social media has really fabricated friendships. It has fabricated support, love, attention, those things of the sort. And I feel like I'm saying this because I took a gap year off of high school, right? I cultivated relationships still, And turns out they weren't really cultivated. It was just that social media was making it look a certain way. Like social media was creating a bond that wasn't really there. I don't know if I'm articulating my words in the right way, but if you feel me, then you feel me. But coming from a place of, feeling lonely or feeling like I have to always be isolated and have a certain lifestyle and, move like this, be like that. It's not always about that, because really true, like, being able to be authentic around people that really care for you and being able to be around others that have the same ideas as you is really what helps you grow as a human being and grow as a person. And I'm not saying social media is a place that can't keep those relationships growing or you can't build new ones, but I'm saying in general, it's a place where it's more about, it's ego. It's all ego boosted. And I am realizing that as well, because people really base their self-worth on comments and likes. And if only like 50 people like your post, imagine 50 people in a room. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, friendships, me being 19, having like a little few friends, and being a really like emotional, sensitive, and just happy like person, I have grown to see that the relationships that I built aren't really there, if that makes sense. And yeah, I hope this all makes sense. But overall, Gen Z, we lonely. That is okay.
Social media is beautiful in some ways. It gives us success, inspiration, access, and community. We are more digitally connected than any generation ever.